Georgia, before we jump in some examples and breaking through, you talked about a couple critical components, and one being your videographer. So how critical and kind of what are you looking for in a great videographer to work side by side with you to be able to, create this content?
That's another big hurdle I think a lot of people get. They're just like, how am I going to find somebody like this, right? I think the number one thing is to find your style that you like. I mean, if you actually really like, there's so many different styles to be attracted to. There's the really fast-paced, heavy animated, a lot of B-roll style. Then there's the slow-paced, cinematic, whatever. And trying to find a videographer that works within that genre, even though they can jump around. But my videographer he will not do crazy text animation. That is not what he is best at. His editors, though, we can do that. We can offset that. But for me to be 100% comfortable and, I don't know, like video was a big hurdle for me to get in front of the camera. I needed somebody to reassure me that what I was saying sounded good. I needed somebody to tell me on the other side of the monitor, that looks really good. Let's try this again. And I had to coach him to help him help me. And an example like, Brent, I need you to give me more feedback. I need you to bring some ideas to the table. What other angles can we be doing here? What can we do to set ourselves apart? So having a videographer that you can build a relationship with long term, I think is really important. And it's really easy to find that. You just have to look for that and have that conversation with them and say, hey, John, I really want to get into video marketing this year. I want to shoot all my listing videos. Here's 3 example styles that I want to follow. Can you do that? Yes. Okay. Are you going to have the availability that I need to be able to do this longer form video? Yeah. Okay. And then I think almost interviewing and making sure that they know what your expectations are is the best way going forward. Because I bet you if I told my videographer what my expectations were, I don't know if he would have, I don't know even now, but we've morphed so far our relationship, and why our videos are so good is because we have that conversation and that communication. And it's so worthwhile to take that extra time to find somebody that you feel that comfortable with, because there's going to be days that you just don't have the energy to do it. And you have to be you times 2 on camera. Like yesterday, I was fading. I did 2 listing videos back to back, which I don't usually do, 2 reels. By the end of it, I was like, screw it. He's like, no, we're reshooting that again and one more time. And you need that person to take that extra initiative, to know that that's what your standard is and to push you that extra mile. Cause it's not easy. Like I mean, anyone says this is easy. I don't know who they are, but it is easier. I'm not trying to scare anyone off, but it's like another energy. I can't explain it, that you need to pull out sometimes, and you need that part in your corner.
It's so important. Then the other component, and not all videographers have this ability, is the video editing side of things, to be able to bring it all together. So, in your experience, have you had somebody that can do both? Is it better to kind of separate the two? Kind of what have you found to be the best way to to kind of get the finished product out?
In my personal experience, I'll be totally honest. Me and Brent have tried hiring separate editors so we can do faster amounts of media. And then the editor, it's completely doable. You just got to be very clear again, exactly how you want those videos edited. And the time constraints on it as well. So if he shoots the video and I send it to an editor, a lot of editors are, in the Philippines or other places in the world, their hours to get that media back that you need it for. I'm talking specifically for listings. Everybody wants their listing up tomorrow. It's a very big challenge to work within those time constraints. So I just really worked with my videographer to edit the way, and him advance his style to work with my style. And that's sending examples, having him try things out and saying, hey, I want to learn how to do this transition by the end of next week. Can we do it? So it's a partnership, right? To get maybe your editor and your video do it, like your videographer doing the editing that you want, or that's kind of their wheelhouse. I feel like as us, as the realtor, that's not our job to get that vision where it needs to be. I think it's your videographer's position to either help you find someone to edit that way where he shoots, or him bring his skill level up. It's just, I mean, that's how it's
I
not
love it. Yeah, it is a lot of trial and error until you can get the right mix. And I think, trying to develop and get as many examples as you can, right, in front of them. That's been some of for me, is like feeding them inspiration and whatever it may be, right? A look and a feel, a standard, some examples to be able to model after, I think is really, really key. Georgia, one last thing before we jump in, and I want you to kind of break down a couple of examples. What's budgeting on this, right? Because I've seen videographers that are unrealistic to, okay, where do we need to kind of be? I mean, obviously everybody has a budget, but you know, like for you, what have you found? I mean, I feel what you pay for is what you get in a lot of incidents, especially here. Where you kind of try to keep budget wise, you know, trying to get this finished product out?
I spend about the same amount on photography as I do videography because I think it's just as important, which my photographer is a little bit expensive as well, but it's part of the media. I think I have a discount because I do so many videos with him and I get him so much business, but I think it's around $500 to $600 per shoot. More money for the longer shoots that we do. But if I was to do a full media day with him, it's about $1,000. And that I'm talking that's pushing out like 5 reels, things like that. But per video, it's around 500. And that's for my long form video. And I think most of the time when I want to do a reel, he just ropes that in there as well. But again, we are doing quite a large amount of volume together. But think about it. I mean, $500, or even if it's 700 to 800, I mean, that alone can, attract. You make it all see there.
Yeah.
I think I get a really good deal. Sorry, guys.
What is it? You do a ton, right? So give kind of some
sure.
context. Also, average sales price in your market.
Around 600.
Okay, so we're talking $600,000 homes, and then you do how many listings did we do last year?
I probably 80, I would
Okay.
think.
So kind of give you guys a ballpark price point, and then the amount of volume to where you can kind of negotiate price, right? I mean, that's keeping somebody hooked up, right? Doing 80 listings a year. I mean, you're keeping them pretty hooked up. So I think you have a little bit of negotiating ability, a little bit of moral authority to be able to be like, listen, hey, I need to be kind of right in here in this range. I'm giving you this amount of volume. So I think that's very important to take into consideration. So go ahead.
There's so many videographers coming into this line of work though, right? Like when I found Brent, I had to steal him from a wedding venue. So sorry, just the point on that, there's so many young talent coming in. I think that you could really align with a better price and work with somebody to get them where you need them to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point, right? That typically you could go into, especially off wedding season, right? You can go in and grab them as they're looking for some extra business, but being able to navigate during wedding season, if that's their primary gig, I think that'll just got to
Mostly
take
on
the seasons into consideration. What's that?
The wedding season's mostly on weekends. You're good.
Yeah, you're good. Keep them hooked up during the week. I love it.